drag down, and you'll get the sum of the total amount. It's a really small school. We only have about 75 kids in each grade. It's really great that the teachers know all of the kids. I know almost all of their parents and their siblings and likes, dislikes, and that's really beneficial.
It's a tool, but it's a toy. There's no resistance when it comes to using the Legos in the classroom. You say Lego, ears open up, eyes open up, everyone's all of a sudden sitting up straight, they're their best student they can be.
This is the uneven part of the volcano.
Kids want to put things on the end of their car to destroy the other cars, but I really reiterate to them that the problem is not destroying another group's car. They need to design a vehicle that's going to protect somebody in a situation of a head-on collision.
It's definitely a challenge, just because we have to be here significantly earlier than everyone else is. But it's also fun because it's a commitment.
Hi everyone, I'm Marie Bliston and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Classroom Close-Up New Jersey. We know when it's about to happen. Teachers, myself included, have all experienced that moment, especially this time of year. The fidgeting, maybe some eyes wandering toward the windows. We have mere seconds to rein our students back in, to get them refocused and energized. On this episode of Classroom Close-Up, we'll highlight examples of how young people are learning, often without even realizing that they're learning, through outside-the-box, hands-on activities. Our first stop, nestled along the banks of the Delaware River, Palmyra High School, a hidden gem.
We call ourselves a hidden gem here at Palmyra because it is such a small school and we do so many fantastic things that people wouldn't know about. And we're going to play our $20,000 pyramid game, so we're
Spanish class is challenging. Do you know the words? That's one of the things that makes me want to keep coming back every day because I do like a challenge. ¿Qué hacen durante la batalla? We're learning in a hands-on way where we're constantly speaking it. It's not like worksheets, we're just writing it. Or we do that occasionally, but we are speaking it and using it and talking to each other, which is more practical.
Star and Morado.
One of the other unique benefits of our school is the club advisors and the coaches work together to coordinate a schedule so that all the students can be involved.
I play soccer, basketball, spring track. I'm in the drama club. I'm the treasurer of student council for the freshman class, and I'm also in Interact.
The first word we'll try is to be in love.
I teach calculus, pre-calculus, and statistics. So you do have to show the work for the change of base. Even though you can use the calculator to get the answer, make sure you show that work. In the beginning of class, we were going over the review.
How did you know what to plug in for A equals P and R and N?
We always make sure that they feel confident about the review, then they can have a review game. The review game's based right off of the review, so they'll be very similar questions, generally different numbers. Ready? I've been a fan of game-based learning since I started teaching. I started noticing certain kids always saw other kids as a competition to them because they could do the same things at the same pace. So I said, how can I mix this up where you've got kids who might be really good at one thing temporarily out of a game, and it gives other kids that sense of confidence. So I thought, oh my God, Redemption Island. A is the new area.
We have a review question up on the board, and the teams work together to try to get the question right, and whichever team gets the question right is immune. They have immunity, and the rest of the class gets to vote somebody out who they want to compete with somebody else who was previously voted out.
Immunity necklace passes.
This is an honor.
Those two. They're out, but they're not permanently out. They always get that chance to get back in the game, and it keeps them motivated. 1/3 log base 8x plus log base 8y.
My teacher is very passionate about what she does. I never leave a class not knowing or not remembering what I learned.
Kids really thrive on that. They like that there's a risk in the game involved. They like knowing that, hey, I might not be here for this next question. Maybe I need to work a little bit harder.
Oh yeah.
Why did you pick this overall design? It looks like I teach computer science at Palmyra High School. Sort of like a stealth bomber almost.
I used the big wings like that since when we did it the first time, it wasn't, the wings are big enough for how heavy it was.
Today you were in my maker education class. So click on front. They make things, they invent, they use technology to create. You're gonna need a stopper that stops the arm from shooting all the way forward.
Yeah. I like it because It's like more like kind of hands-on. You do stuff by yourself, and like he wants us to do it and like figure out how to do it ourselves, so we're learning.
I try to teach my students how to think. I don't typically give them step-by-step instructions. I want them to learn how to think. Right?
I think our school's special because we have a very small school, so a lot of kids know each other, and everyone knows their teachers, and everyone has like a good relationship with each other. It's very close.
If we print this, we can print it in pieces and they can lay it out flat. It'll be easier to print.
Palmyra High School is a hidden gem because it is able to really reach the individual needs of the students. We are continuing to work on our project to honor Palmyra's most famous alum. A few years ago, we were informed that Clarence Jones, who is now a professor at Stanford, was actually an alumni of Palmyra High School. He was a graduate of Palmyra High, and he graduated here in 1949. And we were informed that he was actually the author of the first part of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
We're laying the groundwork for our Clarence Jones kind of ceremony/banquet.
Budget team, design.
We're dividing up into different groups.
History, and master schedule. We are working on some sort of project either to dedicate a portion of the school in his honor or to potentially set up some sort of institution for social justice in his name and ultimately have him here sometime hopefully in May or June. We're long overdue to honor somebody who's been so successful from our tiny school.
We have about 6 things to, research and starting from his early life up until now.
We are the design team, and we are designing the plaque for maybe if we have something in honor of him.
We are working on the master schedule for scheduling Clarence Jones to come to our school.
The research that they have to conduct on their own is so much more hands-on.
We're looking up the budget for how much it's going to cost to bring Clarence Jones here, and then how much it's going to cost to host the event and all of the other aspects that are going into it.
After many hours of planning and research, these students will meet Dr. Jones on June 6th when he returns to Palmyra for the renaming of the library and dedication of the Dr. Clarence Jones Institute for Social Advocacy. Classroom Close-Up will also be there to document this historic event and bring it to you next season.
I hope that this celebration for Clarence Jones is huge news and one of the best days in Palmyra High School's history. He's arguably our most prestigious graduate, and he deserves all the honors that we're able to bestow upon him. Like Palmyra High School, Clarence Jones is a hidden gem.
Thanks to the students and staff at Palmyra High School, we can all learn more about Clarence Jones and his role in history. These activities are generating excitement and appealing to students' curiosity. That's really the key, getting them involved in ways that spark their interest, building a foundation for learning brick by brick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to go off right now and build with our brick buddies.
Maggie and I are a team teaching pair. We are an inclusion team. So, boys and girls, when we head down to our kindergarten buddies, what are some things that we want to remember when we're with our kindergartners? Annalise?
To ask them questions.
Excellent. Brick Buddies is where our 4th grade students are paired up with our kindergarten classroom.
Good morning, Miss Kelly's class.
How are you? Each 4th grader has a kindergarten buddy that they meet up with, and they establish that connection to our youngest students here at Woodmont.
It's Brick Buddy Day.
No, it's not.
It is Brick Buddy Day. I promise you it's Brick Buddy Day. It's a tool, but it's a toy. There's no resistance when it comes to using the Legos in the classroom.
My name is Sophia, and this is Lauren. And so she's trying to build herself as a dentist, and she wants to be a dentist because she thinks it's fun.
We really wanted to build for our students an opportunity for them to be leaders.
I like helping her because it's like fun to help little kids, and I like that she's being all inspired.
They get very excited when they find out the Brick Buddies are coming down. They've formed great relationships with the 4th graders. It ignites their imagination to build different things. that we're learning about.
We're building games because I want to be a game creator. We're gonna make a mom, and these are 2 doctors.
We used our Build to Express kits. Those are kits designed by Lego Education, and they each have 200 pieces. So they're limited to what you can build just using this box.
We didn't have a lot of people, so we had to use like these blocks and skeleton legs for humans.
My children can relate to the 4th graders because they're children. They see them in the hallway. They know good questions to ask them about the Legos they're building.
So Alexis, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a teacher. What grade do you want to teach? What do you need? 4th grade? 4th grade? You want to teach what Miss Janice and Miss Beatty teach?
She's building a pet shop because she wants to be a vet when she grows up. So we built a cat here and people in line waiting to get their pet checked out.
Rayhan, why don't you stand up with your brick buddy and tell us what you want to be when you grow up?
Dentist.
Dentist. And why do you want to be a dentist?
Because it helps people's teeth and makes people's teeth grow.
I just think it's a great program we have in the school to form bonds with the older children and the younger children.
But before we go, can we give a little Lego love? All right, so get your little Lego love. Right, we love Legos and we love working together with our brick buddies.
So we finished our lesson on minerals, rocks, and soils, and we're going to culminate our activity with a free Lego build. So when it's time to free build, that's where they have to come together as a team.
We are gonna build the rock cycle. There's metamorphic rocks, sedimentary, and igneous.
We're gonna build a volcano with like metamorphic rock like on the side of it, like cooling down.
As they're building, we really encourage them to use the vocabulary, incorporate the concepts that they're learning to show off and extend what we have done.
We're building the Grand Canyon to show sedimentary rocks.
So when students are building with Legos and showing their extension of their learning, it really allows everyone to be on the same playing field.
Did you reference your sketch? Did you change anything from your sketch?
No.
You say Lego, ears open up, eyes open up, everyone's all of a sudden sitting up straight, they're their best student they can be. What are these?
Those are rocks.
And how are you going to represent the rocks with Lego bricks?
Gray and black pieces.
When we wrote the HIP grant and were awarded the HIP grant, part of what we wanted to do was keep that sense of hands-on learning and play and keeping it simple. That was something we wanted to bring to our classroom.
We're talking about hands-on learning. We're talking about creativity. Legos, who doesn't love Legos? I mean, that's the best part of it. You know, Legos are infectious. You put a bunch of Legos in front of children, they just gravitate to it.
Everyone needs to know they bring something to the table. We don't all bring the equal ideas or the equal thoughts or equal skills to the table, but we all need to know we bring something and we need to be respectful of that. And Legos do that because it's something that all children can connect with and they all like. The girls, the boys, depending on the age. You see 5-year-olds in kindergarten, you see 10-year-olds in 4th grade. And I think that's just the tool that brings them all together.
This is the uneven part of the volcano.
In a moment, more hands-on learning when we ask, why iSTEM? Coming up next.
Calm down, guys. What's going on here?
Let's say, for example, we have 2 students who got involved in a discussion that became heated over he said, she said. We're here today because there was a problem, right? We bring them into class and we talk about 10 principles of great leaders. Make sure you be the change that you want your school to be, okay? All right, see you later. See you later.
I am going to press this start button. The lights are going to start at yellow. When it gets down to green, it's going to go off. Are we ready? Yeah! Ready, go! On your marks. Get set. I am Heather Petersack. I am an iSTEM teacher here at Olson Middle School. In my class, students get a problem that they need to solve. And through that problem, they really get science and math applications and how they're used every day around them.
I enjoy iSTEM because it's very hands-on and you get to learn about how things work in the real world.
Magnetic levitation is a real thing. It is actually a track that is established for trains to run on. Your vehicle is going to be a magnetic levitation vehicle, and you are going to need to make it safe. So the students are currently working on a project where they are creating magnetic levitation vehicles that are going to protect an egg from a head-on collision. So in order for it to work, they need to take into account Newton's 3 laws of motion.
The first one is an object at rest will stay at rest, and an object in motion will stay in motion. The second one is force equals mass times acceleration. Then the third one is the amount of force applied on an object will return the same amount of force back.
So immediately the kids want to put things on the end of their car to destroy the other cars. But I really reiterate to them that the problem is not destroying another group's car. The problem is protecting their egg. They need to design a vehicle that's going to protect somebody in a situation of a head-on collision.
The force times the mass and acceleration can cause it to shift.
Like how heavy our car is and how light maybe someone else's is.
Heavy but not too heavy, that'll go too slow, but it can't go too fast because then that'll break both eggs probably.
They start with the research, they'll brainstorm solutions, look at those solutions, see what works best, tell me why it's their best solution. They get to build it and then redesign it. That's the typical engineering design process as a whole.
So this is the final sketch, or the orthographic sketch of our final model. It has the exact measurements from the side view, front view, and the top view. We also need to name our materials over here and talk about what protects the egg.
The group's final sketch that they do, guaranteed, does not look like the final car that they came up with. Even through building, they're changing things, making it better. They're constantly redesigning through the entire thing.
My favorite part of the maglev train project was building and learning about how we could protect the egg and how Newton's 3 laws would come into play.
I'm working on designing a platform with the 3D printer that'll act as a ramp. So we're going to put it on the front of the car. So instead of having a head-on collision, it'll make the other car fly up.
When the cars crash, we don't want the egg to break. So we're trying to make it so that it either absorbs the shock or goes slower than another car.
When this car collides with the other one, the plastic on the cap will
absorb the shock.
Yeah.
I think it survived. We have batteries to weigh down the car so it doesn't go as fast, and bouncy balls in the front to give more cushion for the egg.
We have 2 good eggs!
Our car, the inside, it's all sponge, and the egg sits inside the sponge, so it doesn't really have room to move anywhere.
We use glue and borax to make slime, which protects the egg and doesn't let it jostle around.
And the egg is surrounded by it all around, so.
It's gonna stay really safe, and we're gonna win.
Yeah.
We're Team Ramp, and our car is going to do well because the force of the other car will not be exerted on the egg, and it will go over it, and it won't even touch the egg.
Get set.
So our car kind of blew up after the first one. We were hoping to ramp the other team off of it, but they collided and our ramp broke.
This classroom is very open to failure. You need to fail before you can make things better. They were like, I need to reinforce the ramp. I need to make sure the egg holder is glued down. When the car flew, the egg went flying. How can I prevent that from happening? How can I keep the egg safe?
We got a good egg! Woo! I enjoyed that it's very hands-on. We build a lot of things, and I like how it's about science. Science is definitely my favorite.
Hey! Yay! They're into it, they love it, it's really engaging. They take ownership of the entire project, and it's awesome when they get to see their cars crash and hopefully sometimes get destroyed.
Here at Roselle Park High School, students have the opportunity to engage in various STEM and STEAM-based curricula. But what you see these students working on is all taking place before homeroom. They call it 0 period.
It's definitely a challenge, just because we have to be here significantly earlier than everyone else is. But it's also fun because it's a commitment.
A commitment that the 76 students who participate in 0 period take pretty seriously.
0 period is a wonderful opportunity for students that are intrinsically motivated. These areas are areas that excite them, that they want to pursue after high school.
Currently, I synthesized aspirin, and I am testing the melting point against actual aspirin, acetylsalicylic. And I was comparing the melting points between the two, between the 100% purity and the one that I created, to see if mine was pure enough. You could see the actual crystals, and once the crystals start to liquefy, that's the melting point of the aspirin, or that's the melting point of my compound. And we're trying to... What really sparked my love for it was sophomore year in Mr. Bang's class. He had honors chemistry, and I excelled in it.
So what you see over here...
Mr. Bangs is a chemistry teacher and an instructor during 0 period.
You begin to see kind of a spark. What interests them? They may not be your best regular student in a class with the structure, and they blossom in these unstructured environments where they're able to explore concepts.
This is like a UV sensor. It can detect wavelengths from 720 nanometers, so around 1,000 nanometers, which is like red light. I had to make the chassis out of cardboard and a little electrical tape.
I'm trying to push students into an area, open their minds of the futuristic goals, growth experience for jobs and technology.
The red player is being controlled completely by the computer, and the yellow character is being controlled by me, by a human. So I've been programming a video game because you can visually see what you coded.
Go for the throw. 30 seconds.
During Mr. Chin's 0 period, students can hone their robotic skills and explore other areas that interest them, like designing a shipping container for vaccine delivery to third world countries.
So this layer would be filled with ice and ice bags, because in order for a vaccine to be effective, they have to be in a certain temperature range,
I find that our students are looking to break out of just the basic norm of education, and 0 period really gives them that ability to branch out, to find out things that they wouldn't imagine doing in a school.
For me, I learn more based on like hands-on projects. 0 period makes it able so that I can do my own work, and I have the freedom and like availability to do my own work and do it my own way.
Yeah.
0 period also offers opportunities for students interested in the arts.
In the beginning of the year, they all pick which projects they want to work on. So between Mr. Chin and my class, we divvy them out. So he takes the more engineering-focused projects, and I take more of the arts and design-focused projects. Fashion, photography, marketing, architectural design and interior design, and music production. And then teams are formed based off of who chose what.
We're given a 40 by 8 shipping container, and we basically had to design a home inside of the container. That project is so thorough and so detailed, you have to learn almost everything you need to know about architecture to know it. So right here we have living space, the living area with the couch. And
they have to have a full set of working drawings, floor plans, elevations, section details of what's going on inside of the walls. And when you're thinking about a high school student, thinking about insulation in the walls, I think we're at a different type of education at that point.
We had to make a total of 3 garments that make a total of 2 outfits. And so we thought 2 things that go together are fashion and film.
Part of one of our designs has the VHS tapes on it. So this is our mock-up VHS tape belt that we're going to be sewing on to the garment.
You know, they don't have to come in and do this, but they're choosing in. They have that kind of passion inside of them to suck in everything that we're trying to teach them, and that's what makes the creative design environment thrive.
In the back of their mind, some of these kids have projects. I would love to try this, but a curriculum does not allow me to explore that. And you pick up on that little bit of hidden talent, so we get supplies that they need and give them that creative aspect at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's dedication, 7 o'clock in the morning.
When 1/6 of your student population is involved in project-based learning, it makes them better learners overall because they're in charge, they're responsible, and they understand their responsibility to their own education. And when you walk into a classroom, you hear students speaking and you don't hear the teacher speaking. That's my goal. I want student-directed learning at Roselle Park High School.
There's going to be a bed on a platform, like a loft here.
The idea of school before school may not appeal to self-professed non-morning people unless there's a subject or project offered that really speaks to them. And that's where Zero Period at Roselle Park has succeeded, in firing up young learners, inspiring future interest and even careers. Today we brought you just a few of the ways educators are motivating and engaging students. For more ideas, check out our website, classroomcloseup.org, and follow us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next week when we'll focus on the importance of family involvement in education. Until then, for Classroom Close-Up New Jersey, I'm Marie Bliston. See you soon.